Hello everyone, welcome back to BARCastTV. We have another high-level replay for you between two great players. So without further ado, let's get into the replay. We have a new player to the channel here. I'll go ahead and introduce him. Spawning on the left-hand side of the map, playing as the blue pieces. It's Raghna. And his opponent spawning on the right side of the map, playing as the red pieces. It's Randy. So we're on Comet Catcher again. I've been really growing to like this map. It's pretty cool to see just the difference in play styles and games you end up getting on maps that have this low wind speed. So both players are going to be forced to making the solar collectors and what have you, foregoing those wind turbines for their power generation. And it definitely leads to a little bit of a different game. So pretty cool to see. For those of you who don't know, this Comet Catcher is a 4v4 team map. You might see a lot in those lobbies, but we've been playing a lot of 1v1s on this map, so hope you all enjoy the games. Take a look at the opening build orders from both players. We have Raghna here, going for this pretty standard 2-mech solar collector LLT, and takes a little walk with his commander, caps the 3rd mech, adds an additional solar collector, and goes ahead and starts a vehicle plant. Meanwhile, his opponent, Pro Randy, has done the same move but has neglected the LLT at these back 2 mechs. I really like this move actually. It just, greedier play. He gets this land factory out so much faster. You can see it's very nearly done. I think Randy actually started in a 3rd solar collector here, so I'm not sure why. This is a little bit of a variation. 3 solar collectors before land factory, but I'm sure he has a reason for that. And he's going to be going for some early scouts. So really like these units. They're super quick. They don't have the most health, but they're very quick at taking out mechs. So we'll see how well Randy's able to control these units and if he's able to get any damage done. I really doubt it because Raghna was able to invest some mass into this LLT here in the back of his main base. So pretty cool. And looks like Raghna has gone for a construction bot first, or construction vehicle rather, instead of these attacking units. So it looks like he steps forward to this commander, takes one shot at this scout. Looks like one's going to step in the main base. He's going to be able to get this mechs. No. Backs away without losing his units and does a great job of avoiding this LLT. Takes a couple shots from it there, but is able to back away. And we have finally the scout out from Raghna himself. Is going to be able to shoo away these units of Pro Randy. So pretty fast start, but great job deflecting those units. Looks like Raghna was able to draw first blood there, takes out that first scout, and has 4 on the board of him as his own. So able to take out both of those forward scouts. His early game scouts from Randy is going to be counterattacking with 6 scouts of his own. So we'll take a look at that in a second. Meanwhile, Raghna is walked out of his main base and is going to be expanding to this southern expansion here. So he caps both the mechs. Puts on, and then it's going to be putting down 2 LLTs. So Mighty Sheep saying in the spectator, scout spam thing, but yeah, let's see if Raghna is able to get some damage done with all these scouts he's made. He's got so many on Randy's side of the board, and we already have 1 blitz out here. So blitzes are very good against these scouts. They have such low health, but I think he might be able to find some damage. We see this exposed radar, and he's diving with so many scouts. So takes out the radar. Takes out 1 mech, and it's going to be losing a few scouts for it, so let's see if he takes out this other radar. Yeah, so he's able to get the radar, but he's going to lose most of his scouts for it, so ends up losing about 4 of those for 2 mechs, or 1 mech and 2 radars, so I think that's a pretty good trade. And is already moving towards the center of the map with this commander, so pretty good. Let's take a look at both these player views. So take a look at Randy's. Looks like he's still in the main base with his commander, just assisting his factory. And he has 1 expanding engineer, reconstructed that radar, and is making an LLT here before these extra scouts dive on this position. So finish cleaning up those scouts. That's a great job. Meanwhile, he has this 2nd expanding construction bot at the bottom. He already has a radar up, really emphasizing that radar coverage, and is finishing this LLT. So great job. I noticed Randy really likes these radars. Great positioning there. We can take a look at Raghna's point of view. Looks like Raghna still has these two construction bots in the main base assisting the factory, and has this 1 expanding engineer going to the top mid side of the map. So really neglecting these southern and northern expansions and trying to get to the middle of the map here as quickly as possible with his commander and an expanding engineer. Looks like Raghna built this forward radar with his commander and 2 LLTs, so pretty cool positioning there, just locking up the middle of the board here, forcing units to rotate around the top and bottom. And that's going to allow his commander a nice safe place to retreat back to in case things get too hairy. See Randy attempting a little run by there, gets taken out by that double LLT, so we see Raghna really favoring these double LLTs to protect his mexes, and is shooing away 1 blitz from, excuse me, pro Randy. It's going to protect these 2 construction bots, and this game's going to be slowing down a little bit. Excuse me. Take a look at the main base. I think Randy's constructed, or is making this construction turret, just continuing to add on power with his commander and staying inside the main base, assisting that factory. Meanwhile, Raghna's commander is continuing to push forward here, setting on another sentry to protect these 2 mexes, and is going to be moving more and more towards the center of the map. So I notice he really likes his position here, just adding another radar and 3 more LLTs. So really relying on these LLTs to gain some presence on the board and control his opponent's movements. You know, you really can't dive into those LLTs too hard without you know, donating mass to your opponent. So combination with the D gun, that's going to be a pretty safe commander tucked against these 3 LLTs here in the center of the board. So good job. Take a look at this attack here on the top side of the board. We have blitzes versus blitzes. Looks like one goes down for Raghna, and Randy is moving up towards blue's side of the map. He's got 5 blitzes here and has caught his opponent a little bit out of position, but there's 2 LLTs here to kind of stop this forward movement. Wouldn't be surprised if Randy kind of turns around here. Yeah, that's what he does. Sees the blitzes, sees the LLTs. He doesn't want to dive into that too hard. Doesn't want to lose those units for free. And has a run by here on the bottom side of the map. So meanwhile, Raghna is moving into Randy's side. He runs past this LLT, takes a lot of damage on that blitz, and looks like it's going to be cleaned up by the production of the factory. So great job cleaning up that run by. Meanwhile, though, Raghna has 3 blitzes in the back of Randy's base. He's putting up a sentry turret to try and defend this, but he's going to lose at least 2 mexes for free here. We have 1 D goes on up, takes out a blitz, takes out 2 blitzes, so 3 blitzes for 2 mexes isn't a bad trade. We have more moving towards the middle of the map here, trying to get behind this main base, and we see this run by of Randy on the top left side of the map. He's definitely, you know, denying these expansions here. Wants to clear those out from his opponent. And we have another engagement here in the middle of the board. We have a lot of blitzes moving in towards the production of Randy. He's going to take out a couple mexes, a couple P-gens, and just going to roll right past. Doesn't have to fight there. You can just keep on moving and shooting. Still have those harassing units on Raghna's side of the map, and Randy's just waiting for a construction bot to make itself known before he's able to dive onto that. And we see more mexes going down, so this is some great raiding by Raghna here. He's going to take out 3 more mexes. He's going to get this construction bot. So close to going down, taking out more solar collectors. More construction bots, and these blitzes aren't done doing damage. They're still moving and shooting. They have a lot of veterancy, I'm sure. Trying to clean that up. Take a look at the back at the middle of the board. We have Raghna creating this LLT forest here. He's got so many sitting around his commander, really abusing these LLT positions here. And Randy's trying to find damage, but Raghna has moved more towards the middle of the map. He's neglecting these north and southern expansions. So see more run-bys here in the middle of the map, just trying to continue following through this weak position. It's so surprising he's going that direction, considering it's directly in front of the output of the factory, but they have a lot of mass on Raghna's side of the map now, or Randy's side of the map, rather. Finally dives into the back of Raghna's base with these blitzes, and takes out that LT, the 2 mexes, and the solar collector, before getting in the back of the main base, and is going to run into a couple LLTs, so going to make sure work of those blitzes there. See an engagement here on the center part of the map, and Red is going to shoo away Raghna, so doesn't want to take another direct engagement against the equal numbers of blitzes, and is going to be pulling back. It's like Mighty Sheep commenting on this. He's a spectator. A lot of spectators in this game. If y'all enjoy spectating these games, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel. I appreciate all of you who've been leaving comments. Really helps the channel improve. I've been making some adjustments to the sound, so if y'all think it's an improvement, let me know. Continue to try and make that better, make the sound quality a little better for y'all. So it looks like the game's slowing down a little bit. We have this LLT line forming for Randy on this side of the map, supporting it with his own blitzes. And Raghna still just sitting in the middle of the map. He's got a huge LLT forest and he's gone for this forward bot lab. So he's going to be using that to get these grave robbers out, these res bots, and producing a couple of expanding engineers. So meanwhile, he'll run by in the center of the map. More blitzes, cleaning up mexes, cleaning up construction bots. Raghna's diving in, shaving off a couple of units here, and he's going to be pulling out of Randy's side of the map. But Randy's got a sizable amount of these brute tanks on the board now, so in conjunction with these blitzes, he's going to have a decent push here forming on the top side of the map. Let's see how far he's able to push into Raghna's territory. Most of these LLTs are to the south of his position, so the weak side definitely is the top of this map, and Randy knows it. He's just cleared out this top left corner of the map with these blitzes. Looks like he's moving back into that, rejoining that up with these blitzes here, and has left his stouts in the middle of the map, so just leaving those slower movements behind, slower moving units behind to protect his main, and is going to be rotating around the board with these faster blitzes. So we have 12 blitzes moving on the top side of the board. We'll take a look at the player view here. Raghna has got this great radar coverage from the top to the bottom of the board, so he definitely sees this run by coming on the top side. Trying to push forward into these medium tanks and is forced to retreat with those blitzes, and is stepping forward with these Centurions. So these are great units. I really like them. They're about, I think, 270 mass apiece, but they shoot very quickly, have a lot of health, and are superior bots to make. And meanwhile, we have this 12 blitz run by here. It's going to run to the main base of Raghna, but it's going to be shooed away by this build power and several LLTs. So trying to find a weaker place to go to. Take a look at Randy's point of view. Still great radar coverage. You can see from the top of the board to the bottom. He sees everything and is going to be shaving off a nice little expansion here with these blitzes. So catches a couple of mexes, couple of LLTs, and is still finding damage. Catches that Lazarus. So great job finding that counter damage. Meanwhile, here in the middle of the board, looks like Randy's posturing for an attack. He's lining up his units against these Centurions. So we have Tech 1 army for Raghna, just Centurions and blitzes. Meanwhile, per Randy, staying on the vehicle plant. He's just focusing on these stouts here, these medium tanks, and Raghna's going to be pushing forward, but Randy's going to be kiting him back. He doesn't want to take a direct engagement just yet. So your budget's asking why Randy's still spamming flashes. I don't see any flashes. I'm not sure what those are actually. Huh. Not really sure. Isn't the radar towers sentries? No. So not sure what flashes are. Could be a FAF reference perhaps, but looks like this game is slowing down a little bit. We see Raghna just comfortably sitting in the middle of the map. He has so many LLTs. There's 39 LLTs in here in our view. And Randy's trying to find damage in the backside of the map, and he's definitely going to be able to find it. Shaving off a couple mexes here, rotating around to the bottom left side of the map. He's going to end up finding that construction engineer, I'm sure. And meanwhile, Raghna finding counter damage of his own. He's going to run past these 3 LLTs, not before losing several of those blitzes. So just got that forward radar, took out one of the mexes, and is going to end up losing the rest of his blitzes. So not the best damage, but we see this map is getting more and more suffocated with all these LLTs, so it makes moving around and rotating much more difficult without losing some units, leaving mass behind for your opponent. Randy still has some blitzes sharking around the map, trying to find damage. He doesn't want to take a direct engagement inside the main base where most of the production and defenses are. Great job finding another LLT. I think he's going to end up getting this construction bot here. So decent damage. Still in the middle of the map, we have these stouts standing off against these Centurions of the Armada Commander. And another grunt run by here in the middle, so finding some damage with these fast-moving grunts. He's going to find just one lone LLT protecting these mexes, supported by one construction vehicle, so can't quite take on that with the repair available, but is going to be able to shave off all two of those mexes, get a little bit of economic damage done. Looks like we have a battle starting here in the middle of the map. Raghna stepping forward to the Centurions. Randy grouping up so many tanks here in the middle of the board. So we see Centurions versus tank. Takes out one. Doesn't want to take a direct engagement. So Raghna moving farther south. He wants to get ahead of this army. And we have a lot of bots here in the middle of the map. We have blitzes and stout tanks of Raghna himself. So it's going to be pushing onto Randy's side of the board. We have these grunts stepping through this crevasse. They're taking on these tanks. Not really the best engagement in the world, but he wants to get into this centerpiece here and deny any radar or mexes. And meanwhile, on the top side of the board, we have stouts and blitzes are able to punch a hole through this LLT wall, so they're definitely going to be harassing Randy's backline. On Raghna's side of the board, we have some of these blitzes still denying this northern expansion here. So we see Raghna is just completely reduced to the center of the board here. He has no southern or northern expansions of Randy, but meanwhile we have this big attack heading towards the main base of Randy. 10 blitzes, 11 blitzes, turns around. He doesn't want to run into that commander in LLTs. He just wants to find the weak damage here, the weak point in the defenses, and I don't blame him. You don't want to be wasting your units for free trying to attacking into LLTs when you can just rotate around and find a undefended mech somewhere on the board. So looks like we have a big grouping of tanks here for Randy. He's able to pick a nice little battle here, shave off a couple units of Raghna. Still controlling the center of the board and still have these Centurions here, so yeah, Mighty Sheep commenting on this commander pushes an impressive playstyle, and it really is. I mean, we see how many of these LLTs are in the center of the board. It makes pushing so difficult. Yeah, just commenting on how good this style actually is. I really am not sure why we don't see Randy like going for rocket bots or some artilleries, just to kind of counteract this play here. They those units outrange the LLTs, so wonder if I can maybe get his comments on that or what his decision was. And doing a great job here. Look at these blitzes just denying that expansion on the top side of the board, but we have these 6 Centurions stepping towards the main base of Randy. How is he going to stop these? 2 of these tanks aren't enough to stop these Centurions, and they're already on top of the main base, so looks like Randy's moving his commander down. He's going to be able to get a D-gun off in time. Takes out 2 Centurions. Takes out 3, so 3 of the 6 have gone down. Hasn't gotten the damage he was looking for. Takes out a couple solo collectors, 2 mexes, and I believe Randy's commander is just going to be able to shoo this away. He's soaking up that mass as best he can. We have a big reclaim field forming here in the middle of the map. And a beamer turret is going to be put up here pretty quickly, so that's going to allow Raghna to defend this field. We take out the range on this, so it's got half of this reclaim field already protected by 1 beamer turret. And Raghna is going to be stepping forward with Janus and Stout, so these Janus do so much damage. So much splash damage. They're slow firing, but they hit so hard. Randy trying to step up with some Stouts of his own. Trying to get control of this middle of the board. They're trying to get control of this reclaim field, but we have so much Raghna here in the middle. He's got 10 tanks, 4 shell shockers, 15 pawns, and 9 Janus. He's gonna be able to shoo away this army of just 13 stouts. So I think this game might be coming to a close. Raghna is tightening the noose here. Randy's stepping forward to this commander. He needs to get some work done. He needs to defend his main base, but we have grunts on the front side, grunts in the rear, being taken out by LLTs. But the real story here is this vehicle army. All these Janus are just so strong. You can't engage into that. Randy calls GG, so types to GG. Well played, Raghna. That was a great game, showing us how effective this commander push style is. So just gets to the center of the board and just starts adding on so many LLTs. You have 43 LLTs here in this, or sorry, in total across this whole main base. So just really abusing that really sedentary style and slow pushing towards your opponent's side of the map, and really completely neglected expanding to the north and south side. He just wants to control the center of the board here and push units into his opponent's main base. So great strategy, great game. See y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.